weapon on the map. I want to see Formal pick that thing up. We know what he can do with the hopping on board with him to get things started. Putting down shots on a couple players, pushing that B strongholds, already capturing that A when the boys capturing C. So first B control actually goes to the boys as they get some points on the board to get things started.
Yeah, not just a point yet. They were contested strongholds, but they are jumping into A right now. Formal did get taken down from some heavy pressure all across the map. The heat wave actually goes in the boys' favor as well. So Snakebite going to be trying to push B here. Does get taken down with the trade, but numbers advantages for Sentinels for the first time. We'll see if they're able to get some points.
On board with Snipe Ball from the boys. Nice kill, controlling B and A early. You're going to see these teams trying to focus on that B stronghold point. It is that make or break stronghold as the opposite sides of the map. You have A and C, obviously. B will be that main point of focus for both of these teams. Still no points on the board yet for Sentinels as we're hopping on board here with Lethal.
Frosty at a 5-0 start. If we can hop over to his screen, I believe he had the snipe. Might not have much ammo left, but he does have this camo to play around as well. Very good positioning from here. I love Frosty when he has the snipe. I mean, everybody loves Frosty when he has the snipe because it usually means something good is about to happen.
Yeah, already 6 kills on the board as Frosty putting that sniper to use. We know what this man can do. Nice melee there on that player rushing bottom. He'll make that a double kill for Frosty, looking for the triple. Will not find it, but already, look at that, 8 kills on the board for Frosty, but none on the board yet for Lethal.
2 away from a killing frenzy here. Frosty doing it all with every weapon, up close and personal with a couple of melees so far too. I actually love the fact that he slowed it down right now. He's not going to try and pressure C unless one of his teammates finds an opening. They do have a member down right now, but Sentinels has these players trap back tower and a great use of the drop wall, repositions, and a nice shot with the snipe from Frosty there to help his team get C.
It's so Frosty putting on a show in this first winner's bracket matchup of the weekend. That triple cap is so deadly, and finally the boys able to weather the storm a little bit, capture C, and now converging on that B stronghold point.
Yeah, unfortunately, no killing frenzy for Frosty, but the control still in Sentinels' favors for now. The boys actually able to get B throughout the chaos. And if they can defend C here, this is a great opportunity, but camouflage gets out of their hands. It's in Snakebites, and with the Mangler, he makes slight work of that player bottom middle.
Snakebite does trade with that camo and heat wave, so that will be down. Frosty has the Mangler, nice headshot there, taking down that member at B stronghold point, trying to capture it solo. Frosty doing it all here, already 10 kills on the board for It's So Frosty. This man is on fire.
Still no kills for Lethal though. We pointed that out twice now. I know it's early, and Sentinels with over 100-point lead probably doesn't care if Lethal gets a kill or not this game. They're doing everything right so far throughout this game. I want to see the boys do a better job of controlling some of the power weapons because right now Frosty has his second snipe of the game.
Nice repulsor there, Frosty timing that sniper spawn, already having a good start with this weapon. I want to see him put it to use. Let's see some double kills, see some triple kills out of Frosty. We know he has what it takes.
It's going to be a highlight reel if he continues to pick up snipe for free in this match. The boys need to do a better job of getting camo because Frosty, when he gets the opportunity to get the power-ups, the power weapons, he goes off a great shutdown from Morga right there with the Mangler. And unfortunately, it's only traded out for the boys.
Wes, I wanted to ask you, what do you think Formal brings to the Sentinels roster?
I think Formal brings a little bit of aggressiveness, right? At Role 2, one of your most passive players as far as Halo players are concerned, especially at the top. But what Formal does is he adds a little bit more pressure onto some of these teams. It could bode well for Sentinels throughout this weekend if they can find a good play style to play around Formal, as well as the communication factor that, in all honesty, Faisal, I mean, Formal has the best communication in Halo right now. I'll say it hands down. I've watched his stream multiple times since he's made the switch, and I'm just always impressed with how clear and concise those comms are. I'd love to be able to go into a Sentinels listening.
Formal with that camouflage, putting shots down on A. They have no idea where he is. Finally starts taking some damage. Looking at that kill feed, Sentinels is wiping the floor right now as far as slays go. 12 for Frosty. Snakebite already 11 on the board. Nice little acceleration of kills out of him, as we saw earlier. Lethal as well now on the board with 4 kills.
Nice shot by Snipe Paul there to stay alive. No shield, lands a body shot. Unfortunately, can't find the double. Plays need to be made from the boys, and unfortunately, with not much time remaining in this game, we're going to go into an Astro listening as this game wraps up for Sentinels.
Watch out on C absolute, Rob. Watch out on C absolute, Rob.
Two players.
They're spawning dummies a lot. Yeah, hard ass death, PJ. Yeah, hard death. Yeah, they're gonna get out, guys. They're gonna get out.
Cuts in.
We have a good picture. We have a good picture.
The definition of professional comms out of Sentinels there. These guys have such good communication time and time again. Obviously, world champions here. Sentinels know exactly what it takes when it comes to communication in-game. You have to be clear and concise and confident with your teammates, as there you have it. Game number 1 going to Sentinels. What a story would it be, Wes, coming out of open bracket if these guys can go all the way, and we know they have what it takes.
What a story it would be, but would any of us actually, early on, we're talking thrust, we're talking heat waves, get these situational advantages to where you have a better opportunity when you're going up against some of the best players in the world, because you're going to need every advantage you can get.
Starting off things with Formal dropping front of the base, trying to put down some fire across the map here as he pushes all the way through uncontested bottom middle. Nice kill by Formal, looking for the double kill. Does get it. 3 members fall, one of them being Frosty, so a good 2-1 start for Sentinels, and control a little bit in their favor as Formal already 3 kills on the board.
Already 3 kills, and he's got both thrusts for the game in his back pocket right now. The heat wave is as well, and right now Formal is the most powerful Spartan on the map. He's got 3 kills to his name. Let's see what he can do.
You'll notice about that heat wave that, you know, it has 2 ways to fire the weapon. You have the horizontal cursor and the vertical cursor. You see players always opt to choose the vertical, as you can do more damage. Does take more precision, but it does do a lot more damage. Now hopping on board with Snipe Hall.
It's always interesting to see which players prefer the different horizontal vertical reticles in which situations. We were watching Trippy earlier today, and he was using that vertical situation a lot more than the horizontal, so very interested to see how players determine which situations they want to favor which reticle in. Right now we are looking at a 6-6 game right now. I believe it is tied for these boys, and that means that bodes well for the boys, right? They've started off being able to weather the storm of Formal, starting off 3-0, getting all that power. They've taken him down, and since then, they've got a little bit of momentum.
Frosty running into 3 opponents on this card side and somehow managing to stay alive, and not only stay alive, but bait the players into a Formal back smack. And once again, Frosty on your screen, double kill for him, looking for the triple, but good shots, and wisely chooses to back off from that fight and controlling the map instead.
Yeah, just like that, it's 11-7. So Sentinels now up 5 kills after that heat wave from Lethal. And Lethal, one of these players that, I mean, he's the 2nd greatest player of all time in the top 25 list. You want to talk about his accolades, but right now you want to talk about what he brings to the Sentinels roster, especially when they throw someone new. Lethal's that calm voice in everybody's ear, I feel like, that makes everything feel okay.
Yeah, nothing ever phases Lethal. He's always so level-headed. So, you know, always very calm, cool, and collected as Lethal. And similarly to everyone on this roster, you know, Formal with the addition of him, like you said earlier, that was a bold statement, but I tend to agree with it, that Formal actually may have the best comms in the entire game. Every time I watch his stream, whenever they're screaming Formal, always a good leader, always has good communication, and that helps so much at the top level.
I mean, great grenades, great shot, great communication. Formal doing it all so far here in our winners bracket round 1. Sentinels with an early lead here in game 2 as well, 20-8.
Yeah, this one is starting to get away from the boys really quick. Already a 12-kill lead, and Formal has all the confidence in the world, moving freely around the map, finding a couple players here in the utility room. Nice shots out of Formal for the killing spree.
Beautiful shots out of Formal. You're starting to see him really heat up. 11-3, so obviously feeling very comfortable with his home on Sentinels.
Couldn't ask for a better team to come into this open kickoff tournament. Formal on a dynasty roster here with Sentinels. Manages to stay alive with that thruster. It is such a useful ability to have in your back pocket, whether it's in a BR fight, whether you're trying to get out of harm's way. That thrust can come in handy so often.
It's like he's had it all game almost, right? Every time we've been on Formal screen, a rare missed shot from Formal. Great shots by Sentinels there, and they're going to need that to happen several more times for this game to get any closer, because right now Sentinel's still in complete control of the map. You're seeing Robson try and compete for these dynamo grenades, but unfortunately he's taken down. Damage is done, but no one there from the boys to trade out any of that damage.
Yeah, now Sandell once again trying to get these cleanup kills on the car side, but once again, Sentinels just does such a good job. It's almost like they're more dangerous when they're one-shot because you get tempted to go chase that kill, and they're always going to play it perfectly. They're going to bait and switch. So whenever you see a Sentinels player one-shot, don't think it's going to be a free kill because it's probably a trap.
Lethal playing so well around those dynamo grenades right there. Absolutely incredible movement, the jump at the end, forcing that player for the boys to miss shots, and because of it, Lethal's able to pick up another one and extend Sentinel's lead now 35-15.
Yeah, this one is looking like a bloodbath. 35-15, 20 kill lead for Sentinels using that sidekick. Snakebite showing us the professionalism, showing us the consistency. Once again, putting that sidekick to use and taking down Sandel, who had that BR in that close range battle. You are going to want to use that sidekick if you got your hands on it. The time to kill is really quick with that thing.
Frosty with another power up in this series with Camo finds himself a double. 39-17 now, and you just see how aggressive Sentinels is playing right now, Faisal. It's like they have no care in the world. If they find you, if they spot you, they're going to push you.
Yeah, and once the score starts looking like this, Wes, 41-17, you just start playing risky, right? You go for the flashy plays, and players like Frosty love to go for the flashy plays, and unlike some of us, you can actually pull them off.
Yeah, another killing spree for another Sentinels member. It feels like we're becoming a broken record here in this game 2. Aquarius Slayer, it is not going to be a close one. It is 44-17, 6 kills remaining for Sentinels to close this one out and take themselves to a game 3, leading the series 2-0.
Coming all the way from the open bracket. They were actually like the 9th seed in the open bracket. So fighting their way through that gauntlet and now having such a dominating start in the pro bracket, up 47-17. Geez, make that 48 as Snakebite picks up the thruster. Only a couple more kills to go, and we'll be hopping into game 3. That heat wave, a couple missed shots, but does get the trade. And there you see the Stake-tacular medal as Sentinels goes up 2-0 against the boys.
You gotta love just Rockets that overshields to start off the game, give themselves those advantages to be able to push into Sentinels' base. Let's see if they're capable of doing so. Here we go, we're hopping on board with Snakebite to start this one off.
I was interested to see if anyone was going to try to do that strat where you run for the grapple and grapple the overshield to yourself or grapple the rockets, but not this game as we're on board with Morga, spots a player in the opponent's closet, marks him. I love that about Halo Infinite. It allows you the option to ping or mark on the map, and we've seen players use that ability time and time again as Frosty gets the better of that engagement against Sandel.
So the good news for the boys is they were able to get overshield. The bad news is that overshield just got deleted and you only got an assist out of it. Rockets are still up though, and it does look like the battle for mid-map is still going down. It's up to the boys to try and compete, but it does look like Sentinels once again with rockets in hand. You see Lethal picks up that first kill.
Yeah, Formal already made his way all the way to the boys' base, and he's got Lethal right behind him with those rockets. Let's see if he picks up that thrust. Shoots a bit of a pucket rocket, you know, as they say, but now all the way into the base of the boys, and the flag run is already started as Lethal is running this towards that bar area. He does have good control from his teammates, and so far hasn't even been touched.
There are members from the boys that have been able to push out of their base. Let's pay attention to the kill feed here. Formal and Lethal both show up with kills. That's 3 dead now for the boys, and this flag, with it already being across halfway, it's up to Robson by himself to stop it.
Yeah, tall order for Robson as grenades are flying at him. He chooses to wisely back up because there wasn't much hope to stop that flag, as so many teammates from Sentinels were there protecting Lethal as he does cap that flag. Now heading here towards that BR side.
A great job by Sentinels to get those rockets, get an opportunity with a few kills in a row to get into the base. Lethal gets a quick flag grab. They only have to slay one more time, and they get that flag punched in. An early flag cap for Sentinels show you exactly that when you give map control to Sentinels early, they're going to cap flags.
Snakebite in no man's land right there, grappling right into a couple opponents as he falls. Now on board with Robson, trying to get some grenades into this top rockets, but not able to do much damage there. Formal, once again, that's back-to-back overshields. Actually, excuse me, the boys did get that first overshield, but were melted. So first overshield we're seeing in play in this game as Formal, once again, keeping the pressure on the boys.
This player does stay alive for a little bit, so Formal having to do a little bit more to take him down. Gives up his positioning as well, so now the boys could take advantage of this. Unfortunately, it does look like Formal runs out of ammo in the BR, and that's a great kill by the boys right there. I love how they were just able to clear out their base, all because that one player stays alive, Faisal.
Yeah, kind of a mishap there from Formal, missing his shots with the BR, also missing them with that commando, so not going to see that too often out of Formal. Snakebite gets some nice shots there, bottom Bulldog, and I believe he sprinted over and grabbed that really quick fire rate Bulldog.
You cannot afford to miss shots in battles, in one-on-one battles against Sentinels, and right there we saw the boys just not shooting quite well enough to take down Snakebite. Now Sentinels look like they have map control for a little bit. With rockets coming up, this could be really bad for the boys.
Frosty able to grab those rockets and see if he can retreat. He's not able to and goes down. Morga takes him out, and rockets actually in the hands of Snakebite. So good awareness there to quickly pick up those rockets.
No, honestly, a great few kills from the boys, and an even better job of making sure Snakebite wastes these rockets without the opportunity to push into the base. He has to use both rockets just to get a kill. It's immediately traded out, and so the boys eliminate Sentinel's opportunity with power weapons. That's the first time this series we've really seen that.
Yeah, good shots there out of Frosty now, getting some assists as well. And you'll see these top teams always try to control. It's so powerful to control that front side of the opponent's base and near the pillars, near that jump up area. It's just such a hard kill to get if you're the other team. And players like Frosty are notorious for milking their life and staying alive, right? So Frosty playing a little bit aggressive there in the opponent's treehouse and does get taken out, but that front base is so crucial to control.
That was a big one-on-one win from Morga right there onto Frosty. If he doesn't win that, you're looking at Sentinels having control of the base, potentially running a flag. Unfortunately, Morga trying to push out by himself here, forced to back down no shield. And now the boys are going to be in a very difficult situation. They know Sentinels is coming. They know all of Sentinels is coming, and they have to figure out a way to get some kills.
Not able to connect with that green gun, but does take off the overshield from Lethal. So once again, Sentinels pushing heavily into the boys' base. Lethal here spots a couple players, gets some good info for his team, and unfortunately gets taken down from the player, their utility, and now Formal is right there to clean up the kills.
Yeah, 2 members for Sentinels do go down, so Formal has a lot of work to do if they still want to try and keep this flag alive. Unfortunately, I think he's going to back up, and that's actually the right play. The boys able to push out their base a little bit, but Formal's going to stop them from pushing, and now with a little bit of help from his friends, they look to push again.
Mangler in his back pocket. BR out and about. Formal already in the boys' base, getting the second flag run started for the Sentinel squad.
And what awareness by Formal there. When he loses 2 teammates, he falls back, he gets his shield, he turns it into 2 kills, and that creates another opening that Sentinels now has to get a second flag on the board.
Here we go. First opportunity gets squandered there a little bit by the boys, but I'm happy that they're actually able to get into the Sentinels base, right? That's what you're going to need to do. You're going to need to get into their base and at least give yourself a chance by getting those flags out of the base. Throw it out front, but as I say that, Formal already running this second flag all the way back to his base, and we think of Formal as that main slayer. Actually, you know, all these players can be considered main slayers on the Sentinels roster, but the thing is, what makes them so great is they can do it all, right? They have the awareness, they have the map situations all figured out, and they know when to do the objective and when to slay.
I mean, that's one of the best things about the Sentinels roster is, yes, they all get kills, so yes, they all look like main slayers, but they all play efficient Halo, they all play good Halo, right? If they're in a position to do the objective, they're going to do the objective. So just because you're labeled as a main slayer, just because you get a lot of kills, doesn't mean it's not your responsibility to be in position to pull the flag. Overshield does get taken down there, and this could be the opening the boys need to get some control. They get Overshield in their hands, and now, here we go.
Yeah, and for the first time in the Halo franchise, the power-ups are actually need to be activated when you pick them up, as we're on board. Morga has that overshield. The flag is running through rockets, Wes.
Somehow the flag gets pulled through rockets. Sentinels overextended, got into the base. They didn't fight for overshield well enough. Rockets and overshield are used to get the return. Now we'll see what the boys can do with this map control. Unfortunately, 1 player alive. He's bottom shotty, and he gets a double. That's going to be Frosty picking up a double, keeping that flag alive. And now Sentinels all of a sudden could potentially get a 3rd flag.
We got Robson down there. Good kill, big kill out of Robson, taking down Snakebite and getting that flag return.
You got the return, yes, but you had map control for what it felt like. If Frosty wasn't a nuisance and gets a double bottom shotgun, it really felt like the boys was going to have the first opportunity to control the inside of the map and maybe dictate some of the pace in this game. Unfortunately, when you're going up against Frosty, even if he's the last guy alive, he's a problem.
He is a problem indeed, as we see 4 perfect shots out of It's So Frosty. I love seeing that medal. Very few things are as satisfying as getting that perfect medal in this game.
You got Jeff Steitzer in your ear telling you perfect, you know you did something well. And Frosty, it looks, him and Jeff, they have a great relationship together. It seems like every single time we see one, we see the other. That
3rd flag being run by Snakebite through the treehouse down near those dynamo grenades. Chooses to just throw it out for his team and stays in his position. That's what I love about the Sentinels roster too, is they just have such awareness about what what positions on the map are important to control, and not just are important to control, but when they're important to control, right? You see Snakebite there throwing the flag out and choosing to stay alive and slay for his team, and because of that, the flag is still active and Formal able to move up and get a touch.
Yeah, Formal does get that touch. A kill does come in from Snakebite, and now it's Snakebite's job to get a kill. He actually finds 2 with Overshield coming up. This is a massive play from Snakebite to keep this flag alive. He's going to be able to run this thing as well. Players are coming off spawns for the boys, but they're no position to stop this one from going in.
Overshield in hand, flag being juggled as there you have it. The third flag cap does go in for Sentinels. Keep in mind they're up 2-0 in this series, coming out of the open bracket gauntlet now, looking to sweep their first pro bracket series.
The boys still continuing to try and fight for space on the map. Pressured off spawn, Frosty and the boys pushing in to the boys' flag right now, running it once again over the balcony. We've seen this route multiple times from Sentinels. Slays do need to come through, and 3 go down for the boys, and unfortunately, this is going to be the 4th flag.
Yeah, I want to take a moment to talk about this kill feed, Wes. Look at that, 19, 17, 13, 17, all double digits for Sentinels. On the other side, you see the boys, only 1 member, that's Morga, in double digits, and very rarely do you see the team that's getting outslayed win the objectives. Now, I'm not going to say it never happens, because we've both been on both sides, you know, where you can win an objective game, but you really got to get slays on the board. You got to get kills to open up the map for you and your teammates, and so far, the boys haven't been able to do that.
Yeah, a lot of the times you'll hear us say stats don't always tell the real story of the game. Well, there's sometimes stats tell the entire story of the game. And if you're looking at the scoreboard right now, when players have 20 and 19 and then players on the other side have 5, you can pretty much guess that it was a very lopsided affair in the CTF scoreline.
4-0 here. Sentinels absolutely dominating so far in this series, and the aggression stays on for Frosty and the boys. Is not able to clean up that kill, runs towards the double doors, but there you have Snakebite just sliding off that ramp into the opponent's base and gets some damage from his own teammate there. As you see that blue marker, but finally does go down.
Slays do come through for the boys. They did have 3 down for just a moment, but the last player alive, that was Sandel. He was able to get that kill on a Snakebite, able to get all of Sentinels out of his base for what might feel like the first time in this game. They get an overshield. Ooh. Now with just 1 minute and 50 seconds left on the clock, Faisal, you're not looking to probably come back in this game, because that would be almost an impossible task, but getting some momentum going into the elimination bracket is important. Maybe they can get something going, win a few fights, get a flag on the board, and figure out how they want to play this map going forward in this tournament.
Yeah, don't get it twisted, everyone watching. The boys are definitely one of the top teams in Halo. It's just that they're going against one of the best historic teams in Halo, so they're going to have a long run ahead of them in this tournament, and it's nothing to be sad about to lose against a Sentinels roster.
Like Meek Mill said, there's levels to this stuff.
To the stuff. There is levels to this stuff, as Formal in the boys' base once again doing the objective, showing us that he can do it all as this final flag cap is being run through the boys' treehouse.
Yeah, well, you see Formal just once again running it through tree. Sentinels really finding a fond flag route here through that tree, right? You see some teams run it through double door. You see some teams bring it into the bar. Sentinels every single time feels like they've run it that same way. That stop does come in, though. You're seeing a play being made by the boys now. Morga getting a flag run of his own, and this is what I was talking about, Faisal. Finally, we see some life out of the boys. It might be too little too late, but this is great for any opportunity they may have later on in the tournament.
Could not agree more. Finish the series on a good note. Sandel would want a big battle at Optics top base to allow Morga to run this flag and put one on the board for the boys. So good flag cap out of the boys.
Absolutely. You love to see the life out of the boys. Their tournament will not be over after this game. 18 seconds remain. They are going to have constant pressure from Sentinels in their base. Sentinels do look like they want to put a 5th one of their own in.
Uh-oh. Sentinels wants to put the nail in the coffin as you see Snakebite running that flag out of double doors. The Snipeball is here to say, no sir, not today. Takes him down. That flag has dropped bottom middle. And if I'm the boys, I just don't want them to cap that 5th flag, and they don't. But Sentinels does win the series. 3-0 sweep. What a way to start their pro bracket run.
Yeah, absolutely. A 3-0 in very dominant fashions. Games 1, 2, and 3. That's the Sentinels these fans know and love.
Yeah, great performance out of them. It's just straight business for them, right? No smiles, no nothing. They know they're here to win this entire tournament, and so far, good start for them.
Yeah, I do want to call out Morga for having a very strong Game 3. For him to only go minorly negative, we'll call it, and to drop 17 kills against a team like Sentinels.